that spot. Blue 58! Blue 58!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the 2 Point Conversation, football talk for fans by fans. We're here on the network at bicbp-radio.com. My name is Matt Johnson, one of your hosts, and alongside with me for a new retro fantasy game, we have last week's champion, the Boyd, in the house.
What's up, Matt?
How are you?
How's it going? Good. How are you, man?
Good. Also joined by our wonderful crew. We have Derek Jaws, the Wizard of Jaws. I call him Derek. I should just call him Jaws. My fault. He's disgusted with me.
That's officially Hercules Mulligan because my Mulligan players are always studs.
Yeah.
A pop culture reference wrapped in a football reference, wrapped in a historical reference. Let's do this.
I appreciate it. Mr. David Telepka.
Oh, I got my real name this time. Cool. Yeah, welcome. I'm excited to be back. This is gonna be a fun week.
Yes, it should be very interesting. And of course, the guy who put this whole thing together, Mr. Andrew Lentz. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just excited somebody picked the 70s and I didn't pick them. So to weigh the blame onto somebody else. But I was super excited to have to do the decade of the 70s.
No doubt. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. And yeah.
It's a different mindset.
It is. It
so
definitely is
different than what you think of today when you do fantasy football. Like you and Ryan did all those all the fantasy shows. Did everything you guys learned from the season just kind of get thrown out when you had to pick these players from the 70s in a way?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, totally different era. So I guess let's get into this thing, everybody. We have to pick our draft order.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get our draft order going. And then what year we're going to be drafting today.
So our draft order is going with the first pick, Mr. David the Muscle Hamster Telepka.
Oh, hell yeah. Last first. I'm excited. Good.
And then our champion is going second, also known as, I like that, the Boyd. I like
That's my last name.
And picking third, the man in the middle is me. Picking fourth is the magical Matt Johnson. And then I think there's some guy named Derek that's picking last. I don't know who this Derek guy is.
The name is Jaws, goddammit, and I'm going fucking bear hunting. Let's go.
I was going to say, Jaws, you pick last for this Derek guy?
Go your role, shut your mouth, start the damn draft, Andrew.
All right. So what year are we picking? I know we're in the 70s. What year specifically are we picking today?
1977, which is kind of a historical year because this is before a lot of league changes came into play.
Fun. All right. Let's get this draft underway, gentlemen. How about it?
Let's go.
I'll boot it.
Well, if I'm going to be first, and seeing as this is 27 years before I was born, I'm going to go with a little known player. I think his name is Walter Payton.
Son of a bitch.
Bust.
Yeah, he might be a bust. I've heard his name a million times. Every time you watch football, you hear his name. And this year in particular, he had a amazing year, 1,852 yards, 14 touchdowns. So I'm pretty confident with a Hall of Famer running back as my first pick.
Definitely no Zeke Elliott, though.
Yeah, not even close.
He was good.
All right. He's only 23, so good year for him.
Very good. The
All
Bullets,
righty.
you are on the clock.
Well, let's see here. I feel like running backs kind of drop off after Walter Payton. So let me take Roger Staubach. Staubach. I don't even know how to say his name.
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
That's what I call him.
The original franchisee.
Let's see.
Call him Captain Roger the Dodger.
2,620 yards passing, 18 touchdowns.
Not too bad.
Is that good for this era?
Yeah.
He
Andrew?
looked pretty consistent week to week. So
If they had 2,500 yards throwing and double digits touchdowns, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. So now I know.
Yeah.
It's be a little NFL history for me.
Not too many 3,000-yard passers at this point.
Oh. All right. Fair enough.
So we got me on the clock here, and I'm going to go to Baltimore. And I'm going to pick Lydell Mitchell, running back. Ran for 1,159 yards and 3 touchdowns. But what he also did, what made me pick him, was he also led the league in receptions that year with 71.
ooh,
A running back? They threw the running backs back. Okay.
The
Learn
blitz, man. The blitz.
the blitz. Got it. Oh wow. Okay, he's got some good numbers. You drafting me as a running back, or is his natural position of wide receiver? Obviously.
Running back.
Scam artist.
Yeah.
is that like a Debo Samuel that year?
Now, he is listed by Pro Football Reference as a running back.
That's a cheat code.
Penn State, the same college as Lenny Moore.
Fair enough.
All
Yes.
righty.
Matt, who you got?
I think I'm going to take receiver off the board. I am going to get Miami Dolphins wide receiver Nat Moore as my first overall pick. 765 yards, 52 catches, and 12 receiving touchdowns. He had the most in 1977 as far as receivers go. So
Damn.
I got to have at least one touchdown in my in whatever week we get randomized, right? I mean, I know it's 14 game season. Got to have at least one. There's a pretty good odds on that. It's tough, man. This is tough. This is tough. It was never like Nat Moore, like who, but he's the first overall today. So here we are.
The great Dolphins wide receiver, probably the most underrated Dolphins wide receiver in the history of Miami.
Oh, shut up, history buff. Nobody cares. Oh my God, the Dolphins. Let me see how far I can get this microphone down my throat. Oh,
Matt Moore is great. Matt Moore was great.
wasn't Matt Moore a really shitty backup quarterback?
He's
Nat.
all Nat and more.
Oh man, is it my turn?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you get the snaky snake.
Snake is snake. Let's start with a running back here, and I'm actually going to go ballsy. I'm going to take a fullback by the name of Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 300 rushing attempts for 1,162 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season.
Not too shabby.
Are you taking the Italian army too?
I don't even know what that means.
Franco's Italian army. That's
Goes
his
the
family.
Italian army.
Might be a pack. Is it a package deal with that pick?
It is. It is. You are taking the Italian army with you.
Frank Sinatra was in it.
Yeah, he was. He was a general.
Oh, that's right. See, you know more about my shit than I do.
Oh boy. And then for my snaky snake back pick here, I'm gonna go with Bob Greasy,
Yes.
the legendary Miami quarterback, the only famous Miami quarterback.
In the Hall of Fame.
2,252 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions on the season.
Are you trying to win the lottery here? Because this is his season where he had 6 TD passes in one game.
Yeah, rolling the dice. See, the nice part about not knowing stuff like that is you stupidly pick people like this.
His stats are a little inflated now.
Idiot.
He had a great.
God, I suck.
He had a great pair of glasses too.
I want to see those. Wow. Great glasses.
He
Nope,
did.
his picture doesn't have glasses.
He wore glasses.
All right.
I don't-
Let's see. It's my turn now.
Yes, sir.
So,
All right. I'm going to take a running back off the board. In fact, me and Andrew just talked about him earlier this week. I'm going to take Dallas Cowboys running back Tony Dorsett, who had 208 rush attempts for 1,007 yards and 12 touchdowns in 1977, his rookie year. So, yeah, he's up there in touchdowns. I think he's only second to Walter Payton in that category. So, yeah. So, hopefully some good stuff there. It's good yardage. I sacrifice yardage because there's a lot of people with a lot more higher yardage than Dorsett, but those touchdowns are hard to ignore.
All right.
enough.
So can all the Bills fans please put down any snowballs as I pick this player because I don't want to repeat.
Snowballs are better than no balls.
I am going with Chuck Norman, running back, Minnesota Vikings. 270 attempts for 1,112 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns.
Is this the guy that got hit? He got hit in the eye with a snowball?
Yeah, because they were
Oh.
mad because he was about to beat out OJ for the rushing touchdown lead that year. So the Bills fans got pissed off and whipped the snowball at him and temporarily blinded him.
Oh,
Well, that's what you get.
that's probably the worst thing related to OJ I've ever heard.
Get the
Wow.
All right.
Oh,
Snake it back to me.
Yes, it is Boyd.
All right. I'm going to take Sammy White, wide receiver, 41 receptions on the year, 760 yards, 9 touchdowns.
oh,
Did you make sure to get his chin strap and helmet after that Jack Tatum hit as well?
Yeah, that was nasty. That was really something.
I've never seen anything like that. I don't know how you can disassemble somebody's helmet from their head and chin strapped all in one hit.
oh, he did it. Oh boy,
He was taking on a stretcher and everything.
they had stretchers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
So
Yeah, that's
you
a violent hit. That was a violent hit.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll take another running back. I'm about to butcher his name. He played for the Rams. Lawrence Mccutcheon.
Yeah.
I did it. Wow, proud of myself. He ran for a paltry 1,238 yards and 7 touchdowns. I like the touchdowns, and his name's kind of cool. It's the longest name on my list, so I'm gonna take him. And then snaking back, I get to pick. I think I'm gonna take a wide receiver. And what Matt was saying is his receiver had the most touchdowns. I am gonna go with the guy with the second most touchdowns. Not a lot of yards, but I'm gonna take Steve Largen. Largen for the Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah. He had only 33 receptions for 643 yards, but he had 10 touchdowns. So hopefully by that logic, I'll get lucky and get at least one on my list.
Hall of Famer, Steve Largent. The Boyd, you are on the clock.
All right. see here. I'm going to go with a running back, and I'll take Mark Van Egan. Egan?
I'm going to
Not
go.
quite. Not quite sure how to pronounce that. Some freaky deaky Dutch name. 1,273 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns for the year.
It's 3 names. I don't like him.
Why can't you have 3 names?
He has 4 names. I don't know what his Mark K. Van Egan is, but
It's Marquet.
Oh, Mark, it's fancy.
Fancy.
I'm gonna go quarterback, and I'm gonna go with the 3rd greatest Colts quarterback of all time. The man from LSU, the son of Dub Jones. I'm gonna go with Bert Jones. Ooh,
Bert?
yes, Bert.
Yo, you realize we're talking about the 70s, right? You're talking about someone's son that none of us have ever heard of.
Yeah, Dub.
That means we have no idea who the fucking father is.
The running back for the Browns.
I got nothing.
I thought he was a country singer.
A boy named Sue.
Mr. Jones, though, did throw. This is coming off of his MVP season, but he wasn't MVP this year. He was MVP in 76, but he still managed to throw for 2,686 yards and 17 touchdowns, and he only had 11 INTs, which is pretty good.
11?
That's pretty good.
That is good. I mean, for
Less
this
than one
era,
game.
less than 1 a game.
Did he have neck surgery too? I feel like that's a Colts quarterback thing.
Busted his he busted his shoulder. Oh no, he did have neck surgery. Yeah, that's his shoulder and neck surgery too. I remember he had neck surgery also. Matt and I just went over Bert Jones not too long ago.
Yeah, like a whole year ago.
Was it a whole year ago?
Just about.
Oh my goodness, it feels like yesterday.
Yeah, almost been a year. Almost been a year.
All right, Matt, you are on the clock.
All right. That kind of stinks. Bert Jones would have been cool. But based on last week's follies at the tight end position, I think I'm going to go take one right now. I'm going to select Oakland Raiders tight end Dave Casper. 48 catches, 584 yards, and 6 touchdowns in the 1977 season. So getting my tight end out of the way nice and early.
Ghost to the post.
I respect that play.
He was also part of the Holy Roller.
That was a team.
No, that was it's a name with a game kind of.
Oh,
Holy Roller game. The Raiders had a bunch of them in the 70s. Sea of Hands, Holy Roller, Immaculate Reception they were in.
oh, it's the name of a play or a game. Okay.
What?
You never heard of names of or games with names?
That's not what I heard you say. That's why I was confused.
Oh.
I thought you were like, oh, it's just the names of names and names. And I'm like, what? What? New phone. Who dis? Is it my fucking turn yet?
Yes, it is.
Oh, this being at the end of the draft thing sucks. Well, I'm gonna round out my RB2 here. I'm gonna go with Delvin Williams of the San Francisco 49ers. And 268 attempts for 931 yards and 7 touchdowns on the season. Feel good about this one.
Does he have a game named after him? Like the Holy Roller?
Listen, I don't know anything about this damn decade. Stupid.
That's a great decade.
Hey,
Listen, we're in a year that was a year of football that was played 10 years before I was born.
10?
This is stupid.
10? I think it's 5 for me. Yeah, 5 for me.
20, 27 for me. Wait,
Um,
you're right. No,
then-
I'm right.
I kind of like what Matt did there. I think I'm going to lock in my tight end position here. I'm going to go with Henry Childs of the New Orleans Saints, who only had 33 receptions for 518 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season.
Jesus. Like 10% of his. All right. 10% of his catches are touchdowns.
Going feast or famine on that one.
Feel
good about it.
I feel like that's for all receivers from this era. If you see like feast or famine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking 6 touchdowns is like the next. Oh God.
If we would have got 78 or 79, it would have been a whole different story.
Well,
if wishes were fishes.
Matt, you are on the clock.
All right. So let me get my second wide receiver off the board. I'm going to take Houston Oilers wide receiver Ken Burrow. Had 43 catches, 816 yards, and 8 receiving touchdowns on the season.
All right, Stamp. Okay. I like your picks. Just high touchdowns. Go for it.
Trying. I mean,
that's the strategy.
It really is at this point. When you're playing it back in the 70s, the yardage is cool and all, but the yardage isn't all there. 1,000-yard wide receivers aren't very common. They're actually pretty non-existent.
Not this year.
Right. So it's like running back is like the position to get, and then everything else is very catch and touchdown dependent. I mean, looking at some of these guys, it's barely over 50 catches in a season. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. Wow.
Fucking crazy.
I'm gonna pick soft ass Lynn Swann, wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he did have 50 catches for 789 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Soft ass. I love it.
How do you know that his ass was soft?
well, it's typically a suplex. You grab them and no, it's fine.
I've suplexed a lot of people in my day. I never knew that their ass was soft or not.
Maybe you would know, like if maybe they just haven't had any soft ass. Maybe it's that obvious. You just get all the tight people. I don't know.
Got a little cushy tushy, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The Boyd is on the clock.
All right. It looks like we're taking a run at some wide receivers. So I gotta take the yin yang.
Oh.
Got to keep the twins together. Let's go John Stallworth, wide receiver 2. They say 2, but I think those 2 were pretty comparable. 44 receptions, 784 yards, and 7 touchdowns on the year.
They were twins?
They're not. No, that's probably like the greatest wide receiver duo of all time. Even though the stats aren't there, people say that's the greatest wide receiver duo of all time.
All right.
Lynn Swann was like a showboaty kind of receiver. He was the guy from USC, Southern California. And John Stallworth was like, no one ever hears about him, I feel like.
Just a quiet nose to the grindstone kind of man.
Yeah.
He's from an HBC school.
What's that?
Exactly.
Historically black college. And the reason why they got him is because you grabbed film on him and then they kept it and they never passed it around the league.
That you could do that? Oh, this is before
that's way before.
It's probably on a cassette tape. That was the film.
He's from Alabama A&M. That's where he played college at.
All right. I like that. He's not going to give anyone else the film. They can't take him. Oh, well, I get to pick twice now. Oh, boy. Yes. I want a tight end because
because
you don't
want a soft ass.
Yeah, no one wants to be Lynn Swann. It's just embarrassing. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Breaking Bad himself, Walter White from Kansas City. I assume that was the city back then still.
Yeah.
He only had 48 catches, so he's a little shy of Matt's 50 catch mark, but he had 674 yards and 5 touchdowns. So, God, tight ends sucked this year. And I'm going to circle back and take a wide receiver, Harold Carmichael from Philadelphia. 46 catches, 665 yards, but 7 touchdowns. So I don't know. My pass catchers are off the board, so I feel confident with those people who I've never seen play.
All right. Back to me. Let's see. I'm going to go running back, and I'm going to take, which I assume is the last man ever on earth, named Wilbur. Wilbur Jackson.
Oh, Wilbur.
Wilbur Jackson.
With Webb.
780 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns for the year.
A great name.
Sad. Wilbur. See, they had great names back then too. Wilbur,
names are...
Roger, Chuck.
I've seen about 6 Bobs so far. Really like that name.
Speaking of Bob, I'm going to go all the way back to Western New York, and I'm going to grab Buffalo Bills wide receiver Bob Chandler. Had 60 catches for 745 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Is this Scott Chandler's dad?
I don't think so.
I assume same last name. All right.
Just because they have the same last name doesn't make them related, David.
I figured they're a football fan. It'd be a football family thing, but you know what? I'm probably wrong. I'll find out. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay. Bob Chandler, huh?
He has a Kobe Bryant tie.
Oh, automatically my favorite.
Wikipedia, Chandler's niece, Sarah George Chester, and her daughter Payton were 2 of the 9 victims of Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
That was dark.
Yeah, way dark.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm going to go cut my wrists now. Thanks, guys.
Anything else then? I think I met this guy one time.
Is he nice?
I can't remember if it was him or another guy that played for the Bills for wide receiver. I remember my dad dragging me to stuff, and he's like, "Hey, this is some old Bills guy," and I'm like, "Is he cool?" And he's like, "Bills sucked in the '70s," and I'm like, "So why are we meeting these people?" But
wow.
I kind of feel the same now. I can sympathize with you guys because the way that I'm talking about these players, you guys are probably feeling the exact same way. Like when I did there. Like,
it's just like, all about every player we've drafted, their whole history. And we're just like, yeah, I like his name.
Matt, you are up.
All right. I'm going to take my final running back with I guess I'm going to have to tough. Let's go Cleveland Browns running back Greg Pruitt. 236 attempts, 1,086 rushing yards, only 3 touchdowns. That's tough, but I think it's more of a yardage thing at that point. So, yeah, Greg Pruitt is my next pick.
Tearaway jersey. Jazz, you are on.
Looking at my little roster sheet here, I am in desperate need of receivers.
There's not too many of good ones. Well, there's good ones, but not too many ones with good stats. We'll go that route.
Yeah, we're gonna have another conversation about that because I didn't understand. You're like, oh, their stats don't show it, but that's the best receiving duo ever. Like, yeah, that's the hottest girl on the planet with
but
that ass, no boobs, and ugly as shit. Great.
The rules, though, the rules are so different.
But the rules, I don't care. I'm gonna go with Harold Jackson of the Rams.
Stud.
48 receptions, 666 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Really, the 666 is why I picked him. I'm just gonna go with that.
Satanism, huh?
Harold and Wilbur. I wonder if they're brothers.
Wow.
Uh,
How dare you?
I don't have time for this today.
I love the 70s.
Then I'm going to back that up with Mel Gray,
Nice cardiac cards.
who is 38 receptions for 782 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Huh.
I'm confused here because I have a team that says they're from LA, a team that says they're from St. Louis, and then I have a team that's the Rams. Oh, they are LA. Never mind. I'll shut up. I'm good. I'll just fuck all the way off today. It's fine.
Los Angeles at that time, and the Cardinals were in St. Louis.
Whatever. This is a stupid decade.
No, it's not.
Did they even
Shut
play
up, Matt.
football?
Make your pick. I'm tired of the history lessons. I'm bored. I'm about to fail out of school sitting here. Sorry, Andrew. That's what you get for calling me Derek all damn week.
You have no appreciation for these men.
All right. So I'm going to take I'm going to take my quarterback. I'm going to take my quarterback right now. Let's go. There's quite a few selections. They're shitty. These quarterbacks are shitty. I'm going to go Ken Stabler.
Hey.
You guys probably Stabler. Probably one of the better touchdown to INT ratios, I guess, remaining, maybe. Sure.
20
and 20, I guess. We'll go with that.
That's it. That's fine. You're fine.
You're
20.
fine.
How many yards did he have?
But he won a Super Bowl.
2176 for his passing yards that year. 77.
And that's good in this era.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Considering like guys like Joe Ferguson went almost had 3,000 yards passing, but 12 touchdowns and 24 interceptions.
That's a good old Buffalo boy.
Yeah, it's vintage. Yeah, let's go Ken Stabler.
Bergen, we love you long time.
I need a tight end, so I'm going to pick Gene Fugit.
Fugit.
Yeah. Somebody else has to say it because I want to.
Tight end, he played for, I'm going to say it because that's what they were called back then, the Washington Redskins.
Wow.
And he had 36 receptions for 631 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Fair enough. Fugit, huh?
What do you got, Boyd?
All right. Well, I need a tight end too. I'll go Jerome Barkum. 26 receptions, 450 yards, and 6 TDs for the year.
I can fuck with that. So I don't know who this is, but he had a couple touchdowns on the year. So give me Charlie Joyner of the San Diego Chargers. Great wide receiver with his 35 catches for 540 yards, but 6 touchdowns.
He was great.
Was he great? Was he great overall, or just is this his best year?
No, it was later on when the rules opened up, and then
he played for a million years.
When San Diego got Don Coryell and he became part of the Air Coryell offense. That's
right.
Like when he like boomed. If you picked Charlie Joyner in like 1980, you would be like, yeah, look at this guy.
Yeah. He had 4 touchdowns in 1980. Stud.
Well, I'm saying, like, but look at it. His yardage has gone up. Like,
yeah. All right, fair. I'll accept that. Well, I didn't pick him in 1980. I picked him in 77. So
out on him.
Yeah, but I think it's time. I think I only have a quarterback left to pick. And let's go down the list of people I know. Okay, I see Terry Bradshaw. Sure. I see him on TV. He gives away money, so I assume he's good at football. I'm going to take Terry Bradshaw with his immaculate 2,500 yards, 25-23. Don't want to undersell him. 17 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. 19. Okay. Wow. What an inspiring pick, I feel.
Boyd.
I wonder if that was the year Terry Bradshaw was benched for Joe Gilliam.
No, that was the
Forgot.
70s.
What was that?
That was the early 70s.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? For flex, let's see. I'm going to take wide receiver Drew Pearson. 48 receptions, 870 yards, but only 2 touchdowns that year.
You're really risking it now.
Isn't that crazy, right? Receiving yards leader, and nobody wants him. Not a single soul wanted him until right now.
Yep.
That's
Taking a risk.
wow.
Well, actually, fantasy football back in this day too. Since it's a running league, I'm going to go with the flex, and I'm going to take a fullback, Sam Cunningham of the New England Patriots. Ran for 1,015 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Beast.
All right. My flex pick is going to be decisions. Let's go Chicago Bears world famous wide receiver James Scott.
2 first names.
2 first names. 50 catches in 1977, 809 yards, only 3 touchdowns, but the catches and the yards are hard to overlook. So let's go James Scott.
Sure.
I am gonna go on the running back train here. For my flex, I will take Haskell Stanback. Like stand back. There's a running back coming through. 247 attempts, 873 yards, and 6 tutties.
Stand back.
Heck.
And then stand back because I'm going to stay on the running back train for my first my mulligan player. Let's go with Chuck Muncie, who had 201 attempts for 811 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Fair enough.
Boom.
I do believe it is mulligan time.
Yep.
Mulligans, everyone's favorite players.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Ahmed Rashad.
NBA inside stuff.
51 catches, 681 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Some nice reception totals there. So, yeah, that'll be my first mulligan.
I'm going to go Sherman Smith of the Seattle Seahawks. He had 763 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
I feel like in today's era, 4 touchdowns is like a bad year for any player, any offensive player. And back now, it's just like, yeah, it's about pretty good actually. Times change.
Let's see. I'm up, right?
Yeah.
Hope so.
All right, mulligans.
The Mollies.
Let me go Oakland wide receiver Cliff Branch.
Nice.
33 receptions, 540 yards, 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
That's a good year.
I know. That's like amazing. Hall of Fame levels right there.
He's not, though. He should be.
Oh, he should be.
There's a big push to get him in.
I'll join the branch train. My favorite 70s, late 70s.
I still have my petition out there to get Drew Bledsoe into the Football Hall of Fame as well. It's kind of died down since it's only like 3 signatures on there.
Who Drew Bledsoe ever beat?
Well, if I'm going to go back to, I have 2 Mulligan players to pick. I'm kind of mad I didn't see this guy earlier. Wayne Morris. He's a running back for, I'm assuming the Rams, St. Louis. Oh, the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals. He had 661 yards, but he had 8 touchdowns. I wish he was on my regular roster, but I guess maybe I'll get a bye week or something. Then my backup final pick. I'm going to go probably Andrew's favorite wide receiver, Darielle Harris from Miami.
I never even heard of this guy until today. So,
wow. This is your favorite. He's on your team. I don't know. Actually, he doesn't have a listed position. It just says blank, but it's in the receiving. So I'm going to draft him. 601 yards on 34 catches and 5 touchdowns. He only started 4 games, so I assume he's a special teams player. But yeah, that's who I'm taking. Darielle Harris Jr. Stud.
We got the Boyd.
I'm going to take a mulligan for my tight end. I'm going to go Riley Odoms. 37 receptions, 429 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Backup tight end.
No, I was gonna go 2 Mully behind that, but I'm gonna go wide receiver Daryl Stingley of the New England Patriots. 39 receptions for 657 yards and 5 touchdowns.
All right, not a bad. Well, cool name.
It is a cool name, Stingley.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. So my final mulligan, also considering last week was pretty bad for my tight end position. I'm going to take Raymond Chester. Raymond Chester, who in 1977 played for the Baltimore Colts. He had 31 catches for 556 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Homer.
Totally, 100%.
All right.
Guys, whose name are you going to call to round out this awesome 1977 draft?
Greatest players of all time.
I am going to take the legendary Clarence Davis, who had 194 carries for 787 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I can't believe you're still available.
As Mr. Irrelevant.
That's our guy.
I like it. Fair enough.
All right. I think that rounds off our draft. So, gentlemen, let's get together. Let's look up on Pro Football Reference, as we typically do, and look for our 1977 game logs for our players.
We got to do the week.
That's right. That's pretty important, too.
And the week was week number 1.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Starting off week 1 of the whole. Actually, I like that.
We're in week 1.
All right.
Week 1 traditionally has like really, really top-notch performances, right? Like everyone's like in mid-season form.
It's either really good or really bad. There's no in between. There's no in between.
Oh, boy.
Week 1.
All right.
So we start in quarterback, right?
Yep.
I guess I'll go first because I'm first in the draft order, anyways. I had, according to this, Mr. Bradshaw. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the SFO,
San Francisco
49ers, in a 27-0 win. That gets me excited. He had 12 completions and 23 attempts. Wow, for 164 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had 4 rushing attempts for 20 yards. So
boom, bonus points.
Yeah,
bonus points. I didn't running
Plus
backs.
2. That's +2, I think.
Yeah.
So let's see, do some quick maths here with our scoring way it is. I'm going to get 10 points from his yards he threw, 2 points from his rushes, and 6 points for his touchdown, giving me 18 points from Mr. Bradshaw.
Sweet. For our listeners who don't know, passing stats are 1 point for every 15 yards passing, 6 points for every touchdown thrown, or ran in or caught, however it may be, and -2 for every interception, but they can get stats in other categories like rushing and receiving as well. So, all right, Boyd.
See what Rob-
Right. I had Roger Starbucks, whatever the hell his name is. Dallas won against Minnesota that week, 16-10. He had 196 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, and 4 rushing attempts, 21 yards, and 1 touchdown rushing.
Bad.
Dude's a stud.
Putting up video game numbers.
What's his point total for the week?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just like waiting. I'm like,
I can't.
Oh.
We only do for rushing the yards and touchdowns, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it'd be, let's see, the passing stats, rushing. I forgot the rushing. I had to do it the last second.
2 points.
Like the 2-point conversation, and you can
So
5
Yeah.
days.
the passing stats totaled for 19 points, and the rushes gave me 12, which totaled 31 points.
That's a lot of points.
That's a good day.
A good day.
Pretty solid day.
I had Mr. Bert Jones, who threw for 220 yards and a touchdown, which gave me a total of 20 points.
Nice. 20 whole points.
That's huge.
I know, for this era. It just feels weird saying that's a lot of points.
All right. My quarterback was Ken Stabler of the Oakland Raiders in week 1 of 1977. The Raiders defeated the Chargers 24-0. Stabler went 13 of 20, 139 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. So passing yards, I get 9 points from that. I get 2 touchdowns, so 12 points from there, and an INT for -2. So 19 points for Ken Stabler.
All right.
Bad.
That's good so far. Everyone's over 15.
You ready?
All
Are you ready for the noise?
No.
I'm ready for all the smoke.
Old Greasy Bob here. Slick Bobbo, if you will. Bob Greasy in a 13-0 dominant win for the Miami Dolphins over the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
Was
Nice.
an electric, top-notch 9 for 19 for 84 yards, 5 motherfucking points.
That's pretty greasy. That's pretty greasy.
Start the world on fire.
It ain't easy being greasy.
You know what? That's probably more fantasy points than his son probably ever had.
I was just gonna say that's like his son's type of play.
Like, I now understand what it feels like to be a Dolphins fan.
How do you feel that How do you feel that man is in the Hall of Fame and has more rings than Jim Kelly?
Let's talk about running backs.
Oh, quick change. You want me to go? Who wants to go? I guess I'll go first. Well, if we're gonna go by Mr. Walter Payton, sweetness himself, Bears versus Detroit in a 30-20 win. This man went off, and he's the opposite of Bob Greasy. He went for 23 attempts for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had one cheeky catch too. So he goes 16 points for his yardage, 12 points for his touchdown, and then his 1 extra point for his catch, giving him a total of 29 points for Mr. Walter Payton himself. I'm happy with that first pick. Wow. I'm very happy with my first pick. All right.
I'm salty right now. I'm so salty right now.
Yeah.
I guess I can't win it all the time.
Yeah.
Can't win everything. Can't win everything.
What did MVG do there, Boyd?
Let's see. Mark the Egg. For Oakland had a 24-0 win over San Diego. That week he had 62 yards rushing for no touchdowns, but 1 reception for 5 yards. I don't think I even counted that as a point though.
Yeah, you usually 1 for that.
Just one point for the reception.
Yeah.
So that got me 7 points. Something. Still better than bum ass Doug Martin.
It's points. I like it.
All right. I had Lydell Mitchell of the Baltimore Colts. And the Baltimore Colts did beat the Seattle Seahawks 29-14. And Mr. Mitchell ran for 114 yards. And he also had 5 receptions for 31 yards, giving him a total of 19 points.
Jesus.
Damn.
Beast.
Fair. Yeah, that's good. I mean, he caught more than he ran. Well, not really, but stud.
He uses a cheat code.
Yeah. I hate that term. It's not a cheat code. It's a good player. Cheat code would be paying the refs.
All right. So speaking of Doug Martin.
Oh, boy.
Shit.
Tony Dorsett, everybody. All right. His Dallas Cowboys. Oh, we done boys. Defeated the Minnesota Vikings 16-10.
Okay.
And in Tony Dorsett's first career start, he had 4 attempts for 11 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 catches, 0 passes. I have 1 point from Tony Dorsett. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Tony Dorsett.
I thought this was a running back era.
Was this his rookie year, though,
not.
right?
Yeah, this is his first professional game. So
That's a running back error.
Oh.
The running back you wanted in that game was Preston Pearson.
yeah.
Preston Pearson.
Week 2, however, was a much better day for Tony Dorsett. Let me tell you, man, I might have actually won that week. Fucking bullshit.
The funny part about that, Matt, is Dorsett only started 4 of the 14 games
Right.
this year.
He still had 1,000 yards rushing. It's just
And
insane.
12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't come in this week.
Yep. Nope.
Tough draw.
Yeah. It's
Tom
really rough.
Landry. Tom Landry.
Him and Greasy Bob were hanging out.
They do, both in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Eating goose eggs.
So I had Franco Harris, who was part of a 27-0 W over San Francisco, had 27 rushes, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 reception for 9 yards, totaling, if my math is right, carry the 23 points.
Damn.
That's a day.
That's a good day.
That's a good day.
Imagine if Bob Grease put up more than 5.
If you would have won
What a time to be alive.
for Greasy would have been week, what was it, 11?
Yeah, maybe. What was the stats for that week?
Here, wait a minute. Oh, he tore them apart because the Dolphins beat the Cardinals 55-14. He went for 207 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an INT. So the INT might have thrown a little wrench into it. But
a whole minus 2
Oh,
points.
shucks.
But the 6 touchdowns, would have helped if it was week 11.
That's 34 points in touchdowns and INTs.
Jesus. Aren't you glad you got him week 1 though?
Yeah, week 1.
Oh, who's we doing our second running back now?
We are.
Yep.
All right. My boy Lawrence Mccutcheon, that's still his name, he played football this week. It was the Rams versus Atlanta in a 6-17 loss. He rushed 14 times for 43 yards and had 3 catches for 11 yards. No touchdowns. So let's see, my quick maths. 4 points from his yards from rushing, 1 more point from his yards from receiving, which is 5, and then 3 more points from his he had I think 8 points total. If my math is correct. It's probably wrong. Yeah, 8 points for big old Lawrence Mccutcheon.
All right.
Wilbur.
I had good old Wilbur. He oh my gosh, yeah. The 49ers lost to Pittsburgh 27-0 this week. He had 15 rushes for only 42 yards and a donut for the TDs. And that gave me 4 points. Humble 4 points.
Did he even throw it to him?
Maybe that's why no one calls anyone Wilbur anymore. Like that game, I was like, no.
More like won't burr.
Week 1's not a good week for me.
Sounds like it so far.
My RB2 was Mr. Chuck Foreman. He had 22 attempts for 66 yards, but he also had 5 catches for 56 yards, giving him a total of 16 points.
Rigged. You knew all the players who had catches. That's why you won. That's why you're winning.
They're going to throw it to him. I knew Chuck Foreman got a lot of catches because just what I learned off of NFL films. And my uncle was like a 1970s Vikings fanboy back then. So,
all
right. My RB2 was Cleveland Browns Greg Pruitt. The Browns defeated the Bengals 13-3 in week 1 of 77. 13 attempts for 27 yards, as well as 4 catches for 61 yards. He also attempted a pass too. He didn't get it complete, but that doesn't help matters much. So I get 2 points for rushing yards, 4 points for receptions, and 6 points for receiving yards. His total for week 1 is 12 points.
Wow.
not bad.
High point totals so far.
My RB2 is Mr. The Devlin is in the Details Williams.
Love the name.
Who is on the receiving end of the 27-0 stomping on behalf of Pittsburgh. Had 16 carries for 31 yards. Thank God he also had 3 receptions for 30 yards, giving me a somewhat respectable total of 9.
Wow. Yeah. So everyone's second running back kind of sucked, except for Andrews. But,
He wasn't playing the Bills.
he was the one watching this scene. He was watching back then, so he knew.
I knew.
All right, if we're going to move on to another Hall of Famer, Mr. Steve Largen. He had a dominant week. Seahawks versus Baltimore. They lost 14-29. His amazing stat line was 4 catches for 73 yards, which in this era is good. No touchdowns. So he made a total of 11 points, 4 from catches, 7 from yards. Not looking great for my wide receiver. Still
1 point?
11 points.
11.
Oh.
Stud. Don't have no one of Doug Martin here.
Can we name the bum of the week after each episode now?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the guy that we just have the bud. We should have the bum.
The whiff of the week.
Yeah, the whiff of the week, and then the stud of the week.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see. Wide receiver. I wasted my second pick on this bum ass Sammy White. Minnesota lost this week to Dallas 10-16. Sammy White had 2 receptions, 2 for 24 yards, and gave me 4 points.
Wide receiver 1 numbers. Wow.
Yep.
Beast mode. My wide receiver 1 was soft ass Lynn Swann, who had 4 catches for 63 yards, giving me a total of 10 points. Set the world on fire.
Nice.
Proud of you. That's a good play.
Right. My wide receiver 1 was Miami Dolphins' Nat Moore, who on week 1 was a part of that Bob Greasy thrashing of the Buffalo Bills. They won 13-0. Nat Moore had 4 catches for 31 yards.
Thrashed.
Yeah.
So
wow.
A whole 7 points, 4 points for reception, 3 points for yards. Thanks, Bob Greasy, you pile of shit.
Bob Greasy strikes again.
Should have had Earl Morrell throwing him the ball.
My wide receiver 1, Harold, not part of the Jackson 5, who lost 6-17 to Atlanta. 3 receptions for 45 yards and 1 touchdown for a whopping total of 13 points.
That's really good, though. That seems to be about in the average. Is that what we're looking for?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Say the average right now is like 6. Oh, boy. Well, the opposite of that is my second wide receiver, Mr. Harold Carmichael of the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, they were the Eagles back then, versus Tampa Bay in a 13-3 win. So they actually got points. He had 4 catches for 30 yards, giving me a grand total of 7 points. This guy's a bum, too. Oh, my gosh. He's a Hall of Famer, though, by the way. Super, super great.
Like 6'8". I don't think he's a speed burner.
He also won the Walter Payton Award, so in the 1980s. So I'm actually, you know what? I got the synchrony.
How many points does he get for that?
Oh, no.
No points for awards.
No point.
No points for awards. He doesn't even rush. He doesn't have a rushing yard in his career. Coward.
Stupid. Idiot.
Yeah. Cut him.
Fire them all.
Let's see. All right. Second wide receiver. Gang. John Stallworth had the better of the two of Lynn Swann and John Stallworth this week. Pitt won San Francisco 27-0. John Stallworth had 3 receptions for 42 yards and 1 touchdown, giving me a total pointage of 13 points.
There you go. Those touchdowns matter when they actually get one.
Love the old 3 points.
I definitely need some classes.
My wide receiver 2 was Mr. Bob Chandler. He had 5 receptions for 72 yards, giving me a total of 12 points.
Big numbers. Oh, that's good, actually.
Not 3 team, maybe 2 team.
Yeah, it's not 3 teams, so it's not that good.
Went away from that 3 team. 2 team.
All right. My wide receiver 2 is Ken Burrow, a.k.a. 00. His week 1, the Houston Oilers defeated the New York Jets 20-0. He had 3 catches for 57 yards on the day, bringing his point total to 8 for week 1.
Absolute unit.
My wide receiver 2 is Mr. Mel Earl Gray T, who lost 7-0 to Denver. Had 2 receptions for 55 yards for 7 points, which in a game that only saw 7 points scored total, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's Good for you. Good for you there.
It's making the most of your opportunities.
Fair.
Now we're on to the 0 point getters, those tight ends.
Yeah, let's start off the points with Mr. Walter White of the Kansas City Chiefs facing the New England Patriots. In a loss, 17-21, my man had 4 catches for 67 yards, giving him 10 points. No touchdowns. I don't think I've had a touchdown since Walter Payton. So I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, not a very touchdown-friendly week.
Nope.
No.
Let's see. Tight end. This week I had Jerome Barkum of the New York Jets. Lost to Houston 20-0. 3 receptions, 27 yards, and gave me a total of 5 points.
Nice. Those are big.
Burner.
Stud. Absolute.
I had Gene Fugit of the Washington Redskins. The Redskins lost to the Giants 20-17. I almost thought I had the wrong thing because I saw Larry Zonk on the Giants, and then I remembered he was there for a little bit. And Mr. Fugit had 2 catches for 30 yards, giving me a total of 5 points. Championship.
Big numbers.
Big super numbers.
All right, my tight end, David Casper. All right. Defeating the San Diego Chargers 24-0. Raiders versus Chargers. He had 3 catches for 21 yards and a touchdown on the day. So my first touchdown since his quarterback, Ken Stabler. Total points for the day. So I get 3 for receptions, 2 for receiving yards, and 6 for a touchdown. Brings me to a whopping 11 points.
Woo. Even with a touchdown. Wow.
That's like you got the dominant guy this week.
Double points, man. That's how you do it. Double points.
Yeah.
I get the double tutters.
Double tutters.
So wait, you think Matt had the dominant tight end this week?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Okay, well, let's hear it. We got to hear the numbers. Let's hear.
Did he score?
Am I going to say child, please?
Henry Child's Play lost 20-24 to Green Bay, but in the process had 5 receptions for 83 yards and a touchdown, 19 points.
That's a
Stick
league
that
winner.
in your pipe.
Childs ain't playing.
Nice.
Can I have anything? Can any of you guys just let me have a moment? All right, I get nothing anymore.
No, Colts fan.
We have a flex.
You know what it is? It's probably the curse because I took more Colts than you did.
Is that how that works?
I think so. I think Bert Jones heard you talking about him and you're like, I love Bert Jones. And then he probably was like, I'm going to curse you because I'm from Louisiana, voodoo style, because you talked how much you love me. And then you don't even pick me in fantasy football, but you take the snake Stabler.
Poor Stabler. Well, I guess I'll just end up with my amazing flex player, Mr. Charlie Joyner Jr., that is, of the San Diego Chargers versus Oakland in a 0-24 loss. He, like every single pass catcher I have on my team, 4 catches for 33 yards, giving me 7 points out of my flex.
Beast numbers.
It's just that 4 catches. It's just every single one. They're like, this is a good number.
All right. This week I got Drew Pearson for my flex. Dallas Cowboys versus Minnesota, won 16-10. He had 3 receptions for 30 yards, no touchdowns, 1 attempt rushing for 11 yards, giving me 7 points.
Tied.
Him and Tony Dorsett had the same amount of rushing yards that week.
Ouch.
And this is my last appearance on the 2 point conversation. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
It was fun.
My flex was Mr. Sam Cunningham, who had himself a day. In a 21-17 win over the Chiefs. Mr. Cunningham on 23 attempts ran for 105 yards, but he also had 3 catches for 48 yards, giving him a total of 17 points.
Oh,
Damn.
all right. What are we doing, Andrew? No, I feel like Matt's got this.
All right, no.
Oh,
My flex is James Scott, who had fuck him.
There's a new point total now.
Chicago defeated Detroit 30-20. He had 2 catches for 34 yards. So 5 points. 5 points.
My
We do it-
flex
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
is Haskell, stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. 18 rushes, 73 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions, 15 yards, 16 points.
Jesus.
wow. Another good flex. It's
All
rare
right.
these days.
So let's go through our total points.
I don't want to. I have big ol' 90.
Oh, fuck.
That's not last.
Okay, we know Matt's not winning this week.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
Boyd, what do you got, bud?
Yeah.
I don't even. It's a bad week for me. 71 points.
whew.
I bet you're not the worst.
Oh, boy.
Andrew,
I had 99.
Oh,
63.
ooh.
Yes.
So remember at the top of the show when I called myself Hercules Mulligan?
Yeah.
My win is on my bench. I have 92 points, with Chuck Muncie having 26 points as my first fucking mulligan.
Holy shit.
Who, by the way, when I picked him, I thought he was going to be my flex, and then I had 2 other mulligans coming. I'll fuck off. That's fine.
Oh. So
Andrew, are we going back to like the 50s now?
I would love to.
Ooh, 20s.
But I'm going to go to a different time period. I'm going to go to the beautiful time of my birth, Miami Vice, arcades, before internet, cable TV, great John Hughes movies. We're going to the 80s.
Hell yeah.
Can receivers catch the ball this year in these years?
Yeah, we got good. I told you, Joyner stuff.
Oh, Joyner, 1980. His good year. Yeah.
80s. Look at him throughout the 80s. Look at John Jefferson of the San Diego Chargers.
John
All right.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
All right, everybody. So that does it for this week's retro fantasy game. 1980s is our decade for next week. Congratulations, Andrew, on winning this week. Yeah, should be a fun one. 80s is a good decade. Really started the booming of the passing era, the real boom of the modern passing era. So it should be a good time. But that is it, y'all. On behalf of Andrew, David, Boyd, Jaws, and I, till next time, the 2 Point Conversation is good.